Hello, welcome to another episode of Yummy Data Science. This short episode is about RStudio and RStudio Basics. And to give you a little bit of a context, this is for the class I teach at UMass. And more specifically, we are now in the second module, which is the whole game of data science or the data science framework. And we are also talking about introduction to R and RStudio. So today's lesson is going to be mostly focused on, I'm going to be showing you hands-on, some of the fundamentals about RStudio. And just to make it very quick, before jumping to RStudio, we are going to be talking about the four windows that RStudio has. And we are going to learn how to use R as a calculator in the console. We will open up a script file, we'll create a new project, and we will look at what lies under the hood, under the tools, global options. We're not going to cover this comprehensively, but I just want to make you aware of this. So let's get started. I'm going to switch over to my R window. Okay, so this is what RStudio looks like when you have installed it and opened it for the first time. And I obviously, as I alluded, I have gone under tools and I have gone under global options, and I have checked some boxes so that this is the way it looks for me. This is not the first time that I've pulled this up since I installed it. Okay, so you can see that there are three windows here. The first window right here, it tells you what the version of R is, and this is called the console. So RStudio, if you remember, is an integrated development environment. Yes, that's a mouthful, so let me break that down. Think of R as a language, like English. And say you want to write an essay in English, or you could write it on a piece of paper or use a tool like Microsoft Word for it. If you use something like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, then that is considered an IDE. So in this case, we are now in the console. We are running R on the command line. So it's kind of like writing your English essay on a piece of paper. And you can see that you just have this cursor. But we'll get into the full benefits of the RDE right now. So over in this next screen, you see the environment tab. And this is right now it's empty, but you as we work in RStudio, you will see this popping up. It has a number of other things, but I'm not going to go into this. The only thing I'll mention is history is quite useful because it saves your commands, and connections is useful if you have created connections to data sources outside your environment. And these are generally data sources are to other cloud platforms where your data may be kept. Over here, you'll see there's another window. And right now, let's just talk about the files. And this is simply your file system on your laptop. So this is my laptop, and this is my users directory, and it shows all the folders that I have. So let us now do a little bit of work in the console and use R as a calculator. Note that I didn't say RStudio, I said R. So what I'm going to type is 5 times 5, 25. Okay, so I did a very quick computation. Then I did 1 divided by 20. There you go. So you can see I just used it like a calculator. Nothing has popped up in the environment. Now what I can say is X, and then I press the less than button, and then the the minus sign, and then I say, actually what I'm going to do is follow good coding practices, and I will say x is 5. And now you can see that in the environment window, x popped up and the value is 5. So you can infer from that that the less than sign and the minus sign, it means it's an assignment operator. So if you kind of twist your head and use your imagination, you can say 5, and then there's an arrow and x. So 5 goes into x. Now let's do the same thing with y. Y is 10. So now you'll have x and y. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do x times y. There you go, 50. So x is a variable, and we have multiplied two variables together. So now what I want to show you is under tools. You can see that I was talking about this earlier, and it's a number of useful options that you can turn on and off. You can see that it has these global options. And under general, you can see RStudio is running this version of R. And over here, I have unchecked some boxes so that I get a blank screen, a blank environment, which I'm going to call the file screen for lack of a better term. You will also notice down here that there is a Copilot button. This Copilot button here stands for GitHub Copilot, which has recently become an industry standard for many coding languages, including R, Python, etc. And it is embedded in R, as you can see, and I have turned it on. Now, as GitHub Copilot, I have lots of good things to say about this. The only thing I will say in an introductory class is let's step back and say, Hadley Wickham created the tidyverse set of library, and he has deep expertise in it, and he has deep experience teaching it. So would you rather learn tidyverse from Hadley Wickham, or would you rather learn it from an LLM-based tool? Starting out, learning about R, I would highly encourage you not to use GitHub Copilot. Now, shameless self-promotion. I do have a class on using AI, specifically Copilot, to do data engineering, to do data science, and it can certainly boost your productivity. In fact, for me, I have seen that I can be 2 or 3 times more productive. And that says a lot because, for the last many years, I haven't been coding full time. So to be able to get that felicity and ease, using AI assistance is a big thing. But again, I would encourage you, if you don't know R, you don't know RStudio, please do not use a tool like Copilot. Please use a textbook freely available. And here's my plug for R for Data Science. It's really well written, and it is available on the web, as are many tools, as are many other. So we have talked about GitHub Copilot. And then lastly, what I want to show you is that you can go to File, and you can create a project. Now, the purpose of a project is that any input data sources, any code that reads in those input data sources, tidies the data, transforms the data, analyzes the data, visualizes the data, and any outputs like, say, plots or your markdown file. The idea behind the project is that it keeps them together. So the way you would create a project is very easy. New project. And here I'm going to R will create a brand new directory for you. So I'm going to create my new project, and the directory name I'm going to call it is public health class. And I will create the project, and this ends our video.